Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, May 4th. I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Glad you could join us. A guilty verdict in the retrial of Tamara Jackson, who was accused of being the mastermind behind an acid attack that took place in March of 2010. The jury deliberated for just over 2 hours and found the 31-year-old Greenbelt woman guilty on several charges.
We are pleased to announce that a Prince George's County jury has found Tamara Jackson guilty of second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, conspiracy to commit first-degree assault, and solicitation of first-degree assault, and that she now faces 65 years in jail for the vicious attack against Ms. Watson, her 3-year-old daughter. As you all know, this was an attack that was senseless and that was heartless, cold, and just violent beyond belief.
Victim Katrina Watts says she and her 5-year-old daughter are healing from their burns and are pleased with the verdict.
Justice was served. I believe everyone in my case worked very, very hard to make sure justice was served, and I just thank the Lord, first of all, for just having justice be served.
The judge revoked Jackson's bond and sent her back to jail until her sentencing on August 3rd, when she faces up to 65 years in prison. Well, Prince George's physician is sentenced to 18 months in prison for his part in a federal extortion scheme. 68-year-old Dr. Mirza Baig is accused of paying bribes to former county executive Jack Johnson. Investigators say between 2006 and 2010, Baig gave money, campaign contributions, and other valuables to Jack Johnson in exchange for assistance in county projects. Johnson and other government officials helped Baig get land and permits for certain developments. Baig is also ordered to pay $50,000 in fines and forfeit $250,000. Well, Prince George's police are investigating a 2-car collision involving one of their own tonight. The accident happened just before 11 a.m. on Central Avenue in Largo. Authorities say the driver of a silver Toyota failed to yield to oncoming traffic as she tried to make a left-hand turn onto Lake Arbor Way and then struck a police cruiser. The driver, a passenger, and the officer were all transported from the scene to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officials say the investigation is ongoing and charges are also pending. Well, Governor Martin O'Malley says teacher pensions will be among the topics discussed at a coming special session. During the 2-day session, legislative leaders addressed the issue of shifting some teacher pension costs to the counties from the state. This comes a day after the Senate President, and the House Speaker agreed to a special session on May 14th and 15th. They hope to make changes to a budget that could lead to $500 million in spending cuts to school districts, if not modified. Well, it didn't take as long as expected for Jerry's Seafood to reopen its doors. Maniko Bartholomew takes us back to the scene of an accident that could have been a whole lot worse than its outcome.
Jerry's Seafood in Lanham.
The most popular dish on the menu at Jerry's Seafood is the crab bomb.
It's all jumbo lump crab meat, no filler at all. A little bit of mayonnaise and Old Bay, cooked to perfection.
But recently, everything on the menu was put on hold.
Last week was a tough week. People thought that the building was condemned.
The result of a senior citizen losing control of his vehicle nearly 2 weeks ago and crashing through the restaurant.
When it hit, we didn't know to what extent the damage was. When the building inspector came, he felt that it didn't have any structural damage at the time, but he had to wait until everything was pulled away and he could see it. So that's why we right on it that night, pulled it away, got everything pulled away, and so that he could see it, and then showed us exactly how he wanted to shore it up so it would be secure for everybody. And fortunately, it didn't damage any of the bearing walls, anything that had to do with the structure of the whole building.
As you can tell from the video, it's pretty remarkable that Jerry's was able to open so soon. In fact, management put a sign out front intentionally because there were rumors that this entire strip mall, where Jerry's is located, was condemned because of the accident.
We had a lot of customers call, one wanting to know if we're open, obviously, coming to get something to eat, but others for the concern of employees, which was really, really awesome to have your outbreak of all the different customers and this calling in to see if our staff was okay, how the person that come through the building, how they were doing. It's a warm feeling. It's a good feeling.
Behind the black curtain is the only visible evidence something unusual happened. Management is thankful they were able to get back to business as usual sooner than expected.
It's great to be back in business. We love our customers. We love when they come out here.
Management expects construction to take place in about 2 weeks, which means replacing the window that was taken out in this section and repairing the damaged area in the dining room. In all, it may take about 2 to 3 days to finish up the entire project, which means they will be 100% back in business. In Lanham, Maniko Bartholomew, CTV News.
There are a lot of happy people tonight. Prince George's police will only say that the man responsible for the crash has been released from a local hospital. And as far as the cause of that accident, that is still under investigation.